There's hot coals in there, and we're going to take some frankincense and place them on the coals. The smoke is actually going to collect in this type of fat here. And this fat, this type of oil or fat, whatever you want to call it, it actually dissolves in ethanol in alcohol. And then I can, through a magic process, take out all of the fat, leave the alcohol and the scent of the smoke. And we'll use that as part of your perfume.
Have you tried that before?
I have, and it works. One way of sketching, just like an artist would sketch a painting. It's exactly the same thing. What I gotta do is prime the canvas. So I'll start with a semi-transparent, warm, woody, dry material because your perfume is warm, woody, and somewhat dry. So smell this. This is timber silk. It's a type of isoe silver, right? And I think of it this way. I'm gonna make a painting and I'm priming the canvas, the background. So we don't start just painting it on white canvas. We're making kind of an orange, warm, woody background. And then on top of that, we add layers of paint, right? So I've got like 25 grams of, oh motherfucker.
So this is isoe.
This is a type of isoe super. It's slightly drier.
So what is isoe super? I mean, I know that I've seen that word
Right.
many times.
It's a human crafted molecule. And so...
And what does it do? It helps project or something? Or like, what does it do?
Well, for me, it depends how you use it. It does help with projection, and it helps with tonality, and it helps with blending, because it is somewhat transparent. It's not very, very strong.
No.
But what it does is it lends a soft, woody, transparent cederness through the entire perfume. And this will merge and help blend all the other materials.
Okay.
So I would have to use a smaller beaker, but let's continue on, and I'll just write down the parts basically here,
Sure.
just as a method. So I'm going to add this much isoe super, and the more experience you have, the more you know how much you should or should not add. You get familiar with how strong a material is. So I added, let's say I added 3 grams of this timber silk, which is actually a type of isoe super. So we can do this a little bit. And now, mind you, I do build different perfumes differently every time. It's not exactly the same. This is one method that I use. So you wait a second because you don't want to smell just the alcohol, right? And, okay. Now you can smell the basic tone, the background to our painting. The way I visualize this, because it's basically this color. It's the color of this table, in my opinion.
It's kind of beige.
It's beige. It's dry wood. It's a clean wood, which is exactly what you're looking for. You're not looking for something too deep and sweet. If you wanted something sweeter, could use add some more sandalwood material to this, and that's sweeter and more buttery. This is more dry. So we have this in the background, and so this is like a wash in the back. So 3 grams timber silk. Now we have a variety. Now I know also you wanted a fresh woody opening, right? You wanted a almost conifer brightness. You're not going for citrus. You were saying that you're looking for a diffusive.
I mean, I'm not opposed to anything.
Right.
Like in the sense that if some kind of citrus creates that, elevating, punchy, brightish opening,
Okay.
I'm not opposed to it.
No, but I think for now, for the background painting, it's best to stick with this material because it's similar to frankincense in that it's bright and dry. It's similar to timber silk in that it's bright and dry. And this one, it's called iso. This is kind of, it's a human isolated molecule from pine trees. So it's isoburnal acetate, isoborneal acetate, borneal forest, right? Isolated borneal conifer note. It's a conifer. So I draw a line. This is the A accord, first one, and I label it here, and I put it here, and you can smell the evolution. As we add materials, we're going to have a B, we're going to have a C, we're going to have a D as things go along. So then we can record the evolution, and if we screw up somewhere down the line, we can go back to where we liked it. So this is A, just 2 materials. Now, let me add some co-distillation of frankincense and cedarwood. It's quite a bit stronger than either one of these materials. So this is going to be the B part, right? And because it's so much stronger, it's not necessary for me to put in as much. So I'll put in like 0.75 grams. And this is called bois d'essence.
What?
Bois d'essence.
Bois d'essence?
Yes.
Bois in the sense of bois as in wood?
Bois.
Yeah, bois d'encens.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Incense wood.
It is incense wood.
So it's bois d'encens.
Bois d'encens.
Incense wood.
I gotta study my French. I will. I failed French in school. Yeah, I know. And so we mix a little here.
So that's natural frankincense.
That bois d'encens, it's frankincense and cedarwood that's been distilled together in this. It's natural, 100%. Cool. And the isoburnal acetate is natural in the sense it's taken from pine or conifer trees and it's just been isolated. The molecule's been isolated.
Oh, I see.
So here we should have a nice, fresh, peppery, bright, diffusive, because the timber silk makes the bois d'encens, the frankincense, more diffusive. So I label this B. Now B has 3 elements. So your oud, your perfume, because you're making this video, it's not cheap. We're including lots of real oud, but also maybe this one can highlight and add to it, really. And this is a nice peppery one. So this is going to be for the C. And we'll add some of this black agar. It's not expensive, but you want something to smell a certain way. It's not, it's all about, okay, maybe I put 1 gram of that oud. It's all about the balance of the materials. But I do love expensive materials. But sometimes the smell you go after is not always the most expensive smell. This will be C. And we continue this way until we screw up, until we find we went off track, and then we stop there. We open the windows, we take a break, we do some other activity, come back and re-sketch again. And you do it for several months, like this. And that's...
Several months?
Yeah.
So you'll be working on my perfume for months?
If you want it to be good.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you want it in a hurry, but... It's usually the time and the wasted materials that are very expensive to the perfumer. It's also the knowledge and the experimentation and everything else that you're paying for. That's quite nice, actually. Once we have the general formula down, the general balance, then you usually want to accentuate one of these notes more than the other to give it character, and then sometimes throw something completely different in there to make it kind of dynamic. This is how you sketch. And to do this, I think minimum is 4 years and like 10,000 hours, okay?
Is that what you put in?
Probably, to be honest, I don't know how many thousands of hours.
How many hours a day do you do this?
About 6. Oh, this mixing?
Just working on perfumes.
No, I work from the time I wake up to I go to sleep. I'm working from 6 a.m. to 1 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Every day, yeah.
Every day?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of necessity or just because you're so involved?
I want to, now I'm working on making my website in the background and meeting people, talking with people. It's my dream, man. I enjoy doing this and I don't want to fail. Thousands and thousands of years ago, as human beings settled down into small villages, we put our collective grain together in a silo, and people would pray over it, such that in a way, next year the grain crop would be good, and they would offer grains to the gods and sacrifice animals. And perfume is actually a Latin word. It means parfum, through smoke. So through smoke, we communicate with the gods. A very practical reason to cover up the smell of sacrificed animals, but also to pray over the smoke as you're sacrificing the animals. Early humans believed that the messages were sent into the sky. The gods could actually read them through the incense.